Hey traders, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be showing you guys my trades from 27th of August 2021. That was a Friday. On this day, I took 3 trades. 2 were winners, 1 was loser, and I decided to call it a day early because on this day, I was not feeling my best. I was a bit too tired and fatigued. That is why if you're a trader, being self-aware of your body and mind is very important because that will avoid you from taking stupid decisions. I will start this video by breaking down the technicals of the stocks I traded. Then I will show you guys my trade recordings, the live recording of my trade recap, and finally I will show you guys why I decided to call it early and what you guys can do as traders to avoid over trading when you're not feeling your best. My very first trade right at the open on 27th of August was on WDay. WDay reported earnings on 26th of August after hours, and on 27th in the pre-market it was gapping up. It made a pre-market high of around $268 level, and you guys can see this 268 to 269 is strong resistance on the 1-day chart. My plan was to take it for the break of pre-market high because the next resistance we have is the 270 psychological level followed by 275 psychological level. You guys can see on this day it made a high of 274.94, so that 275 psychological level acted as a very strong resistance on WDay. My second and third trades for the day were on Netflix. Even though I wasn't watching Netflix on my primary watch, a few members in our Discord community, they called it off that Netflix is moving, and that's the benefit of being in a community because you can't watch all the stocks every single day. If a stock is moving and you're not looking at that stock, another member can call it off. Then at the end of the day, it's your own trade. If someone is calling out a play, if there's a trade idea, you have to look at the chart and then evaluate your own entries and exits, and that's what I did on Netflix. If you guys want to be part of our Discord community, the link will be in the description box below. We also have weekly webinars, upcoming week webinars, educational webinars on journaling level 2, and I also post my daily game plan including charts and the levels I'm looking at on our Discord group. Let's now break down the technicals of Netflix. You guys can see that after the pandemic, people started watching a lot of Netflix. It had a huge rally towards the upside, and since then, since June 2020 to August 2021, it's been consolidating in this range. So that's a consolidation of more than a year. On the 1-day chart, we had this critical resistance 557 that it's been touching for a very long time. You guys can see 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touches. So this is a very strong resistance on the 1-day chart, and keep this level in mind, 557 to 557.5 level, because one of my trade that I made $3,000 on was based on this level. This is the reason if you're trading a stock, you should always have your levels in mind, because if you don't have your levels, you are just trading blind. You won't know where to enter and where to take profits. If it breaks 557 towards the upside, the next levels we have on the 1-day chart is this 563, 564 level right here. And then the next resistance we have is 567. Then the major resistance on the 1-day chart is this 570 level, which is a good psychological level as well. This is my very first trade of the day. You guys know I wanted to catch the break of pre-market high on WDay, and that's exactly what I did. I took 10 contracts. I got filled at a premium price of 4.75. Keep in mind that I'm trading next week contracts because on the same week contracts after the earnings, IV was very high. It was more than 100%. On the next week contracts, IV was 35%. So I was confident trading next week contracts instead of trading the same week contracts. On this trade, I had an internet issue. There was a lot of delay in my premiums, and you guys can see that the chart is at 30.49 on the time and sales, and the time is 31.04. So I have a lag of around 15 to 20 seconds, which is very, very huge if you're day trading or scalping. And you guys can see it's getting worse. At this point, the time on my time and sales is 31.46, but the time is 32.52. That means I have a delay of more than a minute on this trade. Finally, after messing around for a while, I connected to my mobile hotspot. I was able to load the premiums. That's why, like, these technical issues, these things will happen. If you are a trader, these things are bound to happen. That's the part of the business you are in, but you should always have a backup option. My backup option was to connect to my mobile hotspot. At this point, after the internet issue, I'm not thinking of making any major profit from this trade because I know the spreads are also wide on this stock. When I saw this huge wick on the 1-minute chart, I just exited my position because it just threw me off my game. I wanted to be on the safer side because of the internet issues. On my exit, I got filled at a premium price of 5.03, overall making $280 on this trade. This was kind of a lucky trade. Even though my plan and my trade idea worked out in my favor, this could have easily gone against me, and because of the internet issues, this could have been a huge loser for the day. So I am blessed and I am thankful that it did not go against me and it worked in my favor as per my plan, and I I was able to exit this position with a small profit. My second trade of the day was on Netflix. Let's break down Netflix. You guys can see Netflix had a crazy push towards the upside, pulled back to the VWAP, and if you guys remember, this 557.5 is a critical resistance on the 1-day chart that is now acting as a support. For the break of high of the day, I expected 560 level to break and for it to continue towards the upside. I took 10 contracts. I'm trading same week contracts, 560 calls. I got filled at a premium price of 3.15. After my entry on this trade, I gave it a bit more room because I was still liking this trade. On these red candles, the volume was very, very low. So I was like, okay, the trade idea is still valid. I think I should give it a bit more time. But on the break of the VWAP towards the downside, I covered my whole position at a premium price of 2.10. I got filled at 2.12. So I lost $1,000 approximately on this trade. And that's the downside of trading same week contracts and the same day contracts. Those can be very, very volatile. If I would have traded the next week contracts, I would have most likely held on to my position for a minute or two to see if this 557.5 holds. But because I was trading the same day contracts, the premiums dropped a lot in value and I exited my position with a big loss. And sure enough, as per my plan, it found support at 557.5. So I was like, the trade idea is still valid. I exited my last position because I was trading the same day expiry contracts. So to correct that mistake, I switched to next week expiry contracts. I traded 560 calls. I took only 5 contracts on this trade because I'm taking it on the pullback. I got filled at the premium price of 6.95. My plan on this trade is that if it breaks the flag with the overall market pushing towards the upside, I will add on to my position with a profit target of the break of high of the day. On the break of the flag, I added 10 more contracts at a premium price of 7.61. So overall, I'm holding 15 contracts now and I'm trading this next week contracts, 560 calls. We had a crazy push towards the upside. It's working out in my favor, but after 4 green candles, I'm expecting a bit of a pullback and a bit of a resistance at the break of high of the day. Just to be safe, I covered 5 contracts at a premium price of 8.76. This was really nice price action. Before the break of high of the day, it consolidated for a while, pulled back to the 9 EMA on the 1-minute chart. At the break of high of the day, I took another 5 contracts out at a premium price of 9.50. On the next push up, I covered the rest of my contracts, 2 contracts at a premium price of 9.81 and 3 contracts at a premium price of 9.91. And the reason for me exiting my position is that for the next push up, I wanted it to be supported by volume. But after the new high of the day, the volume nearly died down and that's what I was not liking about this trade. That's why I covered my whole position with a total profit of around $3,000 on this trade. I skipped this recording by almost 20 minutes. You guys can see my exit was right at the top, 564.17. That was around my exit point, was the high of the day on Friday. So I almost got the peak of the move and that is the good thing I like about my trade. I was able to score a perfect entry on the pullback. I was able to add on to my position instead of taking profits because that was picture perfect A+ opportunity in my favor and my profit targets were also on point. So if I rate this trade, this was a 10 out of 10 trade in my opinion. I took 3 trades in total, overall making $2,200 on this day approximately, and now I will break down the reason why I decided to call it off after having that one good trade on Netflix. Before I break down that reason, make sure to give this video a thumbs up because it helps out the channel a lot. Coming to the reason, I was still looking at few other setups that I was liking. I was liking mRNA towards the downside. That could have made me another $2,000 say for example. But being a trader, you always need to know when to take a step back. If you guys don't know, I live in Australia, so I trade at night. The market open time is 11:30 PM for me. Usually before the market open, I try to get 2-3 hours of sleep so that I can be refreshed and prepared for the market open. On Friday, on this day, I was not able to get enough sleep in the evening. I was awake from 9 AM in the morning and then I was trading at 11:30 PM at night. So obviously being awake for more than 13 hours, I was feeling tired and fatigued. On these days, what I do is that I lower my stop loss. I was nicely green for the month, so I reduced my stop loss to $1,000 for the day. Usually if I'm liking anything A+, I will give myself $2,000 if I'm green for the month. On this day, as I was not feeling my best, I reduced my stop loss to $1,000 and I decided that if I'm able to score a good trade, like the Netflix trade, the entries and exits were perfect on that trade, I will decide to call it off and I won't be greedy on this day. Because even if you're looking at an A+ opportunity, to make the best use of that opportunity, you need to feel your best so that you can execute at that required level. I just wasn't feeling my best. And how can we forget the icing on the cake was that I also had internet issues at the start of the day. So you will have these days. As day traders, we trade every single day, so we will have these days. The best thing you can do to avoid blowing up on these days is to have rules set. If you're not feeling your best, you will do this, this and this to avoid having a big red day and maybe grab a few opportunities from the market. That's it guys. If you guys have any questions or video suggestions, post a comment down below. I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me there. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.